Showing off my lip trackers. Could even move the tongue around. Why is it? It's not picking up my tongue very well right now. Whatever. I thought a show like, oh, like, cause that I was able to put my tongue like right on the top, like right here. It's not doing that now. So that kind of makes me feel silly now to show that. And it's probably just the hardware, just because it registers me putting it down. Like, it's not curling it up and putting it so I could do the top of my. These. Yeah, and go like this and do like. Wiggle your nose like a bunny. So yeah, this is from like the updated change it, the few extra blend shapes I added. I even adjusted it so like it puts my teeth when I close my mouth like on my actual teeth. And of course, like if I just show my teeth and it does like actually an angry expression because it has a tracking of that. Show this fun thing, like it's Gear Bell's little magical cake. I'm gonna just eat this whole cake at once. I have another one. Hard to stuff this in my mouth. That was a nice feeling meal. Now I'm going to sit down and pass out with a food coma. All these new button things. This button, if you put it red, everyone else sees the menu. And this is if you don't have lip trackers, so you want to turn these on or have these green. Normally I'm going to try to have them green, but I have them off because I could open my mouth with my actual mouth. Otherwise it's like grip trigger. All the controls show up right on here. You just press these buttons and you have the showing the buttons. And then gestures, you got like all the ear controls. Turn that off. Yeah, so I can manually move where I want my ears. Now, let me see how, like, if I just put them up. So yeah, these are like all the auto like bending or so, like the head tilting. When you do this is more like with the face tracking. When you do like some of them, it will like make your ears, like when I do the angry face, they go back, or if I frown, they actually go down. It's hard to. It's like how you expect, like you'd like do that snarl, and it actually detects that apparently. But then the eyes follow. It's when I turn my head, my eyes around. Of course, like once again, tail direction. And then you could just turn up. I should call that wag strength, because like that's how much rotation it does. I'll just show you the button that. Then wag speed, obviously, I could make my tail go really fast to a point where it's just jolting my tail back and forth. But around halfway is like enough that it sways. And of course you could like do it slowly and just like wag, wag. Around halfway seems to be like, it's struggle to find like just the right level of smooth to get the tail to not like jolt like this, to have it like slowly go back and forth. It's really hard to do that for both slow and fast to get it the right speed. And I don't know, maybe I'll just put another dial of like the smoother because it's a struggle to deal with that or to like put that in. So yeah, maybe I'll do that. I don't know. I'm trying to not like just add like every setting on stuff, and then the toe sliders, like these are the toe spread, like toe directions, which it's mainly like if you have the index and you like hold down your fingers and then the touchpad, it's these same things. But I made it so little sliders you can do it. And then the ground follow, if I turn that off, my toes don't curl up. But if I turn it up, so you can like put them like halfway and then they half curl towards the ground. But I like having it like do that, and then it just looks kind of natural. Like, oops. Maybe that is a bit too much. Yeah, so maybe I will play around with that a little half. Just more subtleness. Because originally I was thinking of like, oh, I would do like a just a toggle, like a button. Let me put that speed just a little down. Yeah. Otherwise, I usually keep my tail wag off, because tail wag also works when you purr, which is like grip and touchpad. And then I put I added the pet, and then I made it so anyone that wants to put it to react to bits, you can change the numbers. You do want to put one, each number has to be different unless you want the bits to do two things at once. It's going to take the exact number. They're integers, so they have to be like a very exact number. And make sure they're all different numbers, otherwise it's going to do them both. And then the reward naming. Same with the reward naming. Don't have exact two names, but yeah, you can change. If you create like a redeem, you want to title it, and it has to be this exact title like of these. Maybe I'll like pull it in. Let me get like zooming eyes. Zoom. Oh. So yeah, little changes I've been doing. Let me quickly save my avatar once again, because I did that small little adjustment. takes a few seconds to save this guy because of how much is on him. So with how much is going on with the guy, this avatar does take some does you do lose some frames, bring him out, and then like having multiples of them. What was I? Oh yeah, I wanted to. Speaking of inspector, I'll just show you what it looks like in. So it's going to attach to the root of your avatar. This hand menu does attach right to your hand. So that's the one thing that's not like under the root. But when you go in here, main components, these are all the component things. And some are like following the head, spine. That's why these are like split up like in those components. Because some things you want it to follow the head, or like the eating mechanics. I have stuff following where the mouth is. So I have it all here. But yeah, you can like delete this whole function if you don't want like completely any of the eating mechanics, but also then you probably want to delete all this stuff because this is also kind of connected. Like it looks at some values with the eating mechanics to like do the other shapes. So there is like pretty much all the things I made them like so they're like all compact in each other. So and the most important thing like I want to show in here is this. If you have an avatar that has like all the blend shapes that can connect to, like you have your own like belly full and breathing and fat and muscle, all the blend shapes this whole system would drive it all. I pretty much stuck it to like be all in one thing here, so you can just drop all your blend shapes and connect them in here. Why there's so many is because of also all the facial blend shapes and face tracking stuff. So, and also I got three swallow blend shapes. Kind of improved this swallowing animation, I guess. But and then of course like for example, like the swallowing animation, like if you don't like how how much it's probably doing or so, let me see. Usually data is the folder you want to look in a lot of the things because they're like the value changing editing stuff, or pretty much stuff I'd like cache through a value to so it can like listen or do something to something else. And let me see if I can remember exactly right where you go. Am I having trouble here? Oh yeah, gulping blend shape data is what I called it. So you have swallow multiply. The first one I actually pushed it to like 1.5 because I to kind of match with the other ones. Apparently just did the blend shape that way. But they are like on 1, and it's because the logics actually makes it like 0.1 or something. Like I think it's like 0.2 or nearly 0.3 when you just swallow one thing. But if you swallow 10 things at once, then it's like towards 1 basically. So when you're so if you want to edit things, you have to like go to the mechanics, and it's probably like all mixed around. And sorry if it's not like all one spot of like all the editing. Like there's a lot of things that you can edit just in the inspector. So I kept them like basically organized in their own system, not like made one giant thing of like, okay, this is all the multiply. I kind of tried to do that like before, and I found that was like just a mess to keep track, to like make sure I'm doing that on like every blend shape. And I at least made it so, yeah, they're all, because in the end, like wanted to like make it so they drive blend shape and just easily stick a blend shape in. So it's again why all the blend shapes to worry about is right here. Now, if you want to do the complex ear rotations and such, they are under the ear controls, the tail control pump. So ear, tail, toes, you'd have to first of all make groups for them, but you would drag the rotation and stuff into like these drivers. So like if I click this little thing to where it's what it's driving, this is on my head, and I made a control group, which there's my actual ear joint that is basically rotating. And it's just, it's under a few groups, because one is the one that is offsetting the stuff to make these like zeroed out. Like if my stuff is like turned to zero, default is like basically zero rotation. And there it's rotating a lot because like once again, like there's a lot of things like things are just subtly rotating around, which I think a lot of this is like what's probably really pulling down the, like making this avatar a little laggy and not like one that you'd want to bring to like a huge group or world, because you're gonna lag everyone even more. It is kind of a heavy complex avatar, so I sadly say that because like I kind of tried and wanted to like make it like, oh, so simple and optimized, but it's like I want so the avatar to do so much that it's not like it's not a very easy high performance optimized avatar. You basically just will take out the whole system if you want an avatar like that. Or like pretty much half the, which again, that's why I'm thinking of like making it so like I'll put a little section in here, maybe not even in main components, like another like one like on the bottom. Click in there, and I'll make it so if you want to delete this, click these two check marks, and basically make it so it's easy to do, but also not like easy to accidentally do. Because yeah, I'll make it so I have logics that would like completely delete out things, sections that are, so I'll delete out like all the gesture things, and so like all of like each of these tabs basically is what I'm just thinking of, like because I already kind of organized it like through these buttons, so it would delete all these buttons and all the components that are like ear tail controls, like all those are like all the gesture things. And I would have to check on like what, make sure like any other things. Oh yeah, then I think these buttons. So yeah, there's that's why I thought of like it'd be nice to like make it so you can easily like delete them out. Basically make it so instead of me making another copy that's like only eating mechanics and stuff like that, I'll make it so you can turn this only eating mechanics. You just hit a few buttons and it'll delete everything else except the eating mechanics if you want to just keep that. Or if you just don't want the eating mechanics, then you hit that button and then everything else you can keep. Like normally I'm probably going to go around without the Twitch stuff. Like if I'm like not live streaming and all that, then it's like, why do I want to keep all this on my avatar? Like, it just take up more performance when it just has logic sitting onto it. But then again, that's the question of like lagginess. Like, is the scripts even doing anything that's going to cause lag? Like, if they're just loaded up sitting there, I don't think it's going to be doing much lag. Like, this avatar, it takes a little bit to load, like right away, but that's not gonna like with all the slot count that I think a lot are like worried about. Like this avatar, like they have like each component, each hierarchy thing like adds a slot or something, and this avatar is like close to almost 7,000, and because of that, it takes like 5 seconds or 10 seconds to load up. And yeah. So yeah, I wanted to go over that all